I think his ankle is still giving him issues, and the Giants kind of dared him to run, and he didn't. But he hung in the pocket in that second half, and he made good decisions. He saw the field, and I think when he does that, he's a lot more accurate, and he's a winner.
He is a winner.
It's a Monday, Monday, post-holiday Monday. We're feeling pretty good about ourselves Monday. Here on Birds 365, McMullen and McDonald. Oh, there's a smiling face. Our buddy from the Delco Times, Bob Grotz, good enough to hop aboard with us. BG, how good are you feeling on this December 27th Monday?
Bob, your mic is muted. Can you hear me?
All right, we'll see if we can get him to unmute the mic.
There we go. There we go.
Can you hear
Bob,
me?
You got it. You got
now
it.
we got you.
All right. Hey,
Oh,
it was
maybe
great
not.
being on with you guys. I'll talk to you later. It took me a long time.
The great Bob Grotz.
I had to get my hair done and everything else, Jody. I'm just exhausted.
Looks tremendous.
Yeah.
You're looking good, big guy.
We're all tired, Bob. So I appreciate you getting up early.
Hey, thanks. No, it's an honor to be on this show. And what a crazy Eagles season. And
what did you learn from the Jake Fromm game? Because I didn't learn that much.
Yeah,
it was a nice scrimmage. It was a nice Sunday scrimmage for the Philadelphia Eagles.
The Giants, they really set back quarterback play on one Sunday. I mean, boy, that was hideous. I was telling you, John, a friend of mine, his favorite term is abysmal. It was abysmal.
That was a fitting word to describe the Giant quarterback play. You're right. But let's go to the other quarterback on the field yesterday, Jalen Hurts, because I said in hour one here today, Bob, that, again, you sample your information. You get people's opinions in different ways. I have mine. You have yours. John has his. It just seems to me that there is still a percentage of Eagle fans in this town that want to emphasize when Jalen Hurts does things wrong. And he did. He did things wrong yesterday. He got lucky. He should have had a pick. He had it reversed on a replay decision, rightfully so. But it was still a bad pass that he threw. He put the ball on the ground, didn't feel the backside pressure, did not play well in the first half. But he played damn well in the second half. And the dissenters seem to make more noise and have more volume than those who give Jalen Hurts credit when he plays well. It was a mixed bag yesterday. Some really bad, some really good. Do you get that same feeling that those who don't want to emphasize what Jalen Hurts gets wrong outweigh those who want to give him credit for what he gets right?
I don't.
Okay. I'll
say this, though. Those were two really different halves. Like, how can that happen? And but I think that second half kind of illustrated what happens when the Eagles kind of when everybody kind of rallies around whatever their cause is. What was it that Jason Kelce said? Press on.
Leave press on nails.
I'm sure there was some words exchanged, but yeah, this guy Hurts has something that the guys want to follow. There's just no question about that. And I was telling John, I still think it was amazing that he got that Pro Bowl alternate status. I mean, it's alternate status, but you look at the quarterbacks that are in there with him on alternate status. Stafford was there, Dak Prescott, guys like that. I mean, this guy, he's and that's a popularity contest, the Pro Bowl vote. He is well liked, and nobody likes him more than his teammates. So I don't get that. I kind of some of the stuff that Jalen Hurts, the mistakes he makes, like especially early on, boy, you look at those and you say, how could this happen? Don't they see stuff like this in practice? Well, he didn't practice much during the week, but so maybe that was kind of his warm up, his practice. But you look at the other part of it and you think, well, I look at the other part of it and I start looking at, well, who do they play in the first round of the playoffs? It's probably going to be the Cowboys. Can they run the ball? Are they going to have a chance running the ball? Because clearly they, and I'm at ends with different writers about this, but I don't think they can really stop anybody. You look at the quarterbacks that they've been playing. Yeah, the points are down, but look at the guys they've been playing. And if you can't keep those two quarterbacks on the Giants out of the end zone, you really just can't stop anybody. But they can run the ball in the playoffs. They have that offensive line is the strength, and quite frankly, I really like it when Hurts when he stays in the pocket and he looks downfield. It was kind of, I think his ankle is still giving him issues, and the Giants kind of dared him to run, and he didn't. But he hung in the pocket and in that second half, and he made good decisions. He saw the field, and I think when he does that, he's a lot more accurate, and he's a winner.
He is a winner. He is a hard worker. He does have all the intangibles, but you talked about that well-liked aspect of it, Bob. I want to talk about that from Nick Sirianni's standpoint, because, he went out of his way to defend Jalen Hurts on that one play where he checked it down to Quez Watkins. Dallas Goedert was wide open in the end zone. Everybody was in uproar on social media. Jalen Hurts missed him. He went out of his way to explain why that wasn't a big deal. And then he's calling East Texas to get Lane Johnson in the end zone. And he's talking about Pro Bowl snubs and how Lane Johnson was snubbed. This guy goes out of his way to make his players happy, whereas you got Joe Judge on the other side throwing poor Jake Fromm. This will always be the Jake Fromm game, Bob. You have the Jake Fromm game and the Mike Glennon drive, 17 plays and 75 yards. But what's it like to have a head coach that is well-liked? Is that always good? Could that be bad down the road? Do you have to be more of a stringent boss than a friend, so to speak? What do you think about Nick Sirianni and how he is thought of in this locker room right now?
Good points, especially about the tackle eligible play to Lane Johnson. Andy Reid used to do stuff like that all the time, and it was kind of he was kind of like, it wasn't really throwing a bone to the veterans and stuff, or the big guys, the offensive linemen, but he knew how to keep everybody, all their heads in the game plan, and I don't think he did it to get liked. I think he did it because he felt like the veterans had earned their respect. And I think that, I don't know whether Nick always had that in his ear, whether someone got in his ear, but that was I was really impressed with that. I think by doing that, and also the praise he gave to some of the other veterans like Rodney McLeod, that was a big pick. I personally, I think they would have won the game anyway against the Giants, but that was a turning point, and just going out of your way to make the veterans who have really kept this team together is that's just a team, that starts to make me think about the Any Given Sunday, right where Al Pacino's about to give that locker room speech,
Inches. It's about inches, Bob.
They're all around you.
Bob, we'll get further medical information today, but it's pretty apparent that Miles Sanders has a broken bone in his hand. They'll do x-ray. They'll come out with an injury report later today. If he's done for the year, and if he's got a significant broken hand, got to play with a cast, Miles' hands aren't the strength of his game. If the Eagles decide we're not going to put him out there if we don't know that he's 100%, how big a loss is he for these final two regular season game and whatever playoff game the Eagles get in the first round?
Yeah, that's significant. And people still don't, Boston Scott, from everything that I understand, his knee is still bothering him. He's not been 100%. And he's been active, but if you look at the touches, that's not just because his lack of touches until yesterday. That's not just because of Kenneth Gainwell and the other guy. Oh, and the other one too, Jordan Howard, that neck stinger that's not good either, because he's their inside runner, and that, I mean, he's just built for this offensive line of the Eagles. So yeah, those are pretty significant, would be really significant losses, especially Miles. He's starting to, he can he'll give you a 10-yard run, a 12-yard run, and it really loosens up the defense. The other way of looking at this, though, is that Gainwell is a pretty good receiver. All right, Boston Scott's not 100%. They'll have to probably bring somebody up from the practice squad, but we'll have to see Hurts throw a little bit more, right? and I'm for that. I think I don't know if he's evolving into a passer, but I saw some elements of his throwing in this past game that I was impressed with. Even the footwork in the second half, that looked better. So maybe that's not the worst thing. And that line, I think he's figured out that line is going to give him protection. It's not just a run blocking line. And boy, let me give a shout out to that line, because I don't think any line is playing better than the Eagles right now. No offensive line. And that Pro Bowl snub of Lane Johnson, he missed.
Give me your Trent Williams hate, Bob.
Yeah,
I want to hear the Trent Williams hate in a public forum.
I was telling John, Jody, that Trent Williams hasn't blocked downfield since 2017.
Oh, he's not Jason Kelsey, I'll give you that, but I think he's still pretty damn good, Bob.
Yeah, he's good.
I got bad news for you. I'm kind of with McMullen on this one.
No, I think Mailata. I think Mailata is right. Maybe not. He's right there, and he's definitely better than Johnson on the Cowboys. So
Tyron Smith.
Smith. Yeah. I get this guy mixed up. Yeah, Tyron Smith. I think Mailata he's just a force. I mean, how many guys? That guy he like pancakes, 325-pound guys. I know he's bigger than them, but you just don't see that happen. Yeah, you see these other guys, and then he gets up with a smile on his face, and they look at him to see what happened. It's like they got hit by a bus or something. A Greyhound just came through the parking lot. I mean, that guy, he is a significant part of that offensive line, and I think he deserves more recognition too. But they'll know his name in time.
Yeah, and the interesting thing about Jordan, Bob, I mean, he didn't think he played very well against the Washington football team back on Tuesday. He was on Instagram apologizing for the way he played. And he's been tremendous. I think the biggest part of the snub is Pro Bowl alternate, because, the NFC is very deep at the top with Williams and Smith and Tristan Wirfs, but neither Lane Johnson or Jordan Mailata were even alternates, which is absurd. But it did seem to fuel the Eagles, because Jordan brought it up more towards Lane Johnson. And Nick Sirianni also brought it up when he was talking about the tackle eligible call. He was saying how Lane got snubbed. Do you think that kind of sparked the Eagles?
Yeah, I do, but those guys are that line. It did have something to do with it, and they were all pumped up after that touchdown. But they go out and get the job done. They don't need anybody to say that. They know how to take care of business. I think I'm missing some cliches here, but they love to get out there and play. And this whole run, winning 6 of the last 8 games, this is all offensive line generated. I know they didn't get 175 or more rushing yards yesterday, but they've just dominated. And they haven't played. I think only one of those teams has a winning record, right, John? That those last 8 games.
The
Chargers.
They did, and by the way, the Chargers even lost to the Houston Texans yesterday.
How about that?
Yeah. There's some issues there as well with Brandon Staley. The 31st Mr. Defense has the 31st ranked defense in the NFL. Brandon Staley.
Yeah, but that whole thing is offensive line generated. This winning streak, the 3-game winning streak, the 6 wins in 8 games, and the rebound from the 2-5 start.
Bob, let me go to the defense in green, and that would be the Eagles yesterday. Taking the level of competence or incompetence into consideration of the opponent, what kind of day did Jonathan Ganon have yesterday if you were giving him a grade for his performance as defensive coordinator?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess you'd have to, when you look at the points, 10 points, you'd have to say I'd give him a B. But I'm not, here's what I think of the defense. I mean, they need some help in the secondary, in the back end for sure. That maybe a couple of linebackers. We all know they need help there, and they need another pass rusher too. That line has played decently, but I still think that he's learned how to work with what he has, and what they did yesterday, I can't. Like I said, they gave up a touchdown to Mike Glennon and a Giants team.
No, they did. The third unit did.
Yeah,
they had pretty much cleared out the defensive starters by the time Mike Glennon stuck the ball in the end zone on what number play was it, John?
You really
play of the drive,
splitting hairs there. Yeah, I'm still not a big fan of Jonathan Gannon yet. Maybe someday if he starts calling my name out in the press conferences or something like that.
That's a shot. That's a shot.
That's a McMullen shot right there. Yes, it is.
Did I say that? I apologize.
Yes, you did. Very good.
That's a shot.
The sanctity of this show. Yeah.
Now, see, now it's funny you say that, Bob, because I get a lot of crap because Jonathan and I get along, but I said this defensive effort meant nothing. I can't get anything from this, and I get criticized for that because Jake Fromm, you and I could have stopped Jake Fromm. I'm not going to give Jonathan Gannon credit. I give the defense credit. Yeah, exactly. So I didn't learn anything about the Philadelphia Eagles in this game other than they set up themselves for a potential playoff spot. They took care of business. They deserve credit for that. I didn't learn anything about the Philadelphia Eagles. Did you learn anything from this game?
Yes, I did. That stuff about Hurts and work in the pocket with an ankle that I don't think is still 100%. I like that. I like what he did in the second half. I think he took another step there towards refining that passing game. And let's face it, too, the Eagles are getting some breaks in these last 8 games. I mean, the COVID outbreaks and everything. I could see something like they get into the playoffs, they play the Cowboys, and I'm not wishing this on them, but Dak Prescott gets COVID.
Hey, you never know.
Yeah, right.
You never know.
Yeah, and Micah Parsons, is in the protocol, and all of a sudden, Jonathan Gannon gets into the COVID protocol, and the what is it? The 28-year-old linebackers coach takes over the defense.
Nick Rollis, his right-hand man,
and the Eagles, shut out the Cowboys in advance. I mean, this has been that kind of crazy season. It's okay to start thinking. I mean, they've been getting all the breaks. Is it me or?
No, they have been. But that's what I said. If there's any year
you're taking care of business.
If there's any year you want to just get in and see what happens, this is the year, because it can be a COVID week. If the quarterback gets COVID on the wrong week,
absolutely,
all of a sudden you saw it with the Washington football team. That game, Jody, what did that game? It started at 4.5, it went to 12.5, it went down to 6.5, it ended up over 10. Nobody knows who's playing.
Right. If you follow the lines, that was remarkable. Bob Grotz, can the Eagles make the Washington football team once again get into infighting on their bench? How about that last night? Throwing punches at each other. This is not exactly a team that is unified that the Eagles will be facing off again next week. Can they drive them to take on each other in a best 2 out of 3 pinfalls match next week in DC?
I think it'll be over in the first half, not the second half. I think they're just about toast, and all that stuff caught up with them. The COVID, the injuries, the COVID outbreaks, and all that. And Ron Rivera, as good of a coach as he is, he's having trouble keeping that whole thing together. And oh, by the way, if I'm Rivera, when my guys get healthy next year, and I play the Cowboys and I have like a double-digit lead, I'm faking a kneel down and then throwing up top, to score another touchdown. I'm going to Buddy Ryan them.
You think the Cowboys piled on last night? Huh?
56.
God's sakes, yeah.
Oh,
Lord, yeah. That was nasty. I would never forget that.
I'm sorry to get off the field, but who piled on yesterday? The Bengals.
Oh,
they did that to Joe Burrow, who last year blew out his knee, is out there dropping back every single possession with a 3-touchdown lead in the second half to get to 525 yards. More so than the Cowboys yesterday. The Bengals piled on the Ravens.
Well, they got a net points thing going on there as a tiebreaker too. So that's a weird kind of thing. And the Eagles, they're fortunate that they're not in that situation. But I feel you. I hear you. But these coaches, these players, the ones that stick around, they'll remember that.
Bob, last one from me, because Philadelphia has become, and make sure you read Bob Grotz, Delaware County Times, one of the best in the business, even when he's taking shots at me. But Philadelphia is the capital of tanking because of another team in this town that shall remain nameless. But all of a sudden, the Eagles' 3 first-round picks aren't looking that great anymore. 14 currently in Miami plays tonight. That would be their pick that goes to the Eagles. The Eagles themselves are now at 19 in Indianapolis, and Carson Wentz has hit the number, so to speak, to where the Eagles are going to get that first-round pick. They are currently at number 23. How much of the fan base is upset by the fact that if you're one and done in the playoffs versus losing out on some of these better first-round picks? Have we become that much of a loser as a whole in this city that we're worried about tanking for draft picks?
I don't know. There's always going to be people that are, and they what was it? There's specific Twitter accounts, like to see how many snaps that Wentz got, the Wentz snap count, Twitter, that kind of thing. But I don't think so. And the obvious is that they don't have to use all those picks. There'll be a desperate team in the draft where you can trade the 23rd pick or whatever it is. You can trade that to a team and get their first round pick the following year and kind of roll the dice there. No guarantee it'll be better, but there's probably a good chance and get some other stuff. I could see them doing that. But if you want to go after, if you're still not convinced about Hurts and you want to go after a quarterback, I don't know that that's going to be enough draft capital to get that done. So, but anyway, Jody, you look like you made up your mind on Hurts. You're in, right?
I am, because just personally, I don't believe Aaron Rodgers is coming to Philadelphia. I don't believe Russell Wilson is coming to Philadelphia. I don't believe Deshaun Watson is coming to Philadelphia. And I don't believe any first-round draft pick quarterback would be an upgrade for Jalen Hurts. So if you put all those things into the mix, I think Jalen Hurts is going to be their quarterback. And I don't have a problem with it if that's the case. Do I want to see something a little more out of him over the last 2 weeks and in a playoff game? Yeah, sure. I'll feel that much more confident about it. I guess he could bottom out and be god-awful the next 2 weeks and I could change my mind. But as we sit here right now, I'm good to go with Jalen Hurts as the Eagle quarterback for 2022.
Yeah, I don't see him bottoming out either. Anything's possible. But, I would love to see, especially with the running back situation the way it is, I'd love to see him do a little bit more with his arm. And especially, if they get into the playoffs. So, I think these next, if nothing else, these next few weeks are going to be just a perfect evaluation time for do the rest of the Jalen Hurts evaluation.
Even though Gardner Minshew went in and asked the coach, "How can I become the starting quarterback of this team?" and he was told, "Yeah, sorry about that, dude. Not happening. Jalen is our starting quarterback."
He got a standing ovation.
Gardner
he got a standing ovation yesterday.
I think it was more for the blowout, though, and the indication that this one is officially over. But who knows? Who knows?
I don't know how you got that out. I'll defer to you. I don't know how you got that out of that.
Well,
I saw him walk on the field and everybody stand up.
B. Grotz, always a pleasure, buddy. We appreciate you coming on board. Thanks much. Hair looks marvelous, by the way.
All right. Man,
at least you've got some to comb. You got two jealous guys here who wish they had hair to actually work on prior to the show.
All right.
I look like your big brothers. All right, I'll see you guys.
He's trying to bail. He's
officially muting us. Yeah. He started on mute. He ended on mute.
That's how quick he is. He's trying to get out as quickly as humanly possible.
Grotz has got important things to do. What they are, we don't really know, but he's got other important things to do. We've got one more segment to do here on Birds 365. We appreciate everybody tuning in. Good numbers today, understandably so, because the Eagles control their own destiny to make the playoffs. If you like the Birds, like us here on Birds 365, hit that like button. Feel free to share and subscribe as well. We'll come back, put a bow on the show here on Birds 365.
This is Joe Krause.